KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. All new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E Fueling Excellence, McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, a baby placed into a plastic bag dies moments after being born. The mother now facing serious criminal charges. Plus, how would you react if an intruder is caught inside your home? Carmen Talahi with more on what you need to know to stay safe. And the GEC goes over the next step in adding the public auditor position to the election ballot. Kayali Mediola with the latest from election headquarters.
Hafaday and good evening.
We begin with heartbreaking news. A young mother is behind bars accused of killing her newborn.
Court documents provide the shocking details, how the woman delivered the baby at home in the bathroom before allegedly leaving the child in a plastic bag to die. In jail for poor parenting, 23-year-old Melissa Fupol officially charged in the Superior Court of Guam on Friday afternoon.
Ms. Fupol, the reason why you're here is because the magistrate's criminal complaint was filed against you by the people of Guam, accusing you of committing the following crimes: manslaughter as a first-degree felony, child abuse as a third-degree felony.
The victim is Fupol's newborn baby girl. The child was born on May 20th at 8:40 a.m. and pronounced dead at 11:44 that same morning. According to court documents, Fupol admitted to knowing what she did was wrong and provided this timeline of events to investigators. That on the morning she gave birth, she provided no care to the child. The baby, she says, wasn't moving, so she put her in the bathroom sink while she showered, changed, laid on the bed, and called her boyfriend. When she returned to the bathroom an hour later, she told police she took the child out of the sink and put her in a plastic grocery bag and then into a cloth bag before cleaning up the bathroom and going to the store. Fupol told police she knew she was 9 months pregnant, but hid the pregnancy not only from her family, but her boyfriend, who was only identified as NK in court documents. NK didn't learn about the child until she was born, and he told police he convinced Fupol to take the baby girl to the hospital. They didn't have a car, so they hitchhiked to Guam Regional Medical City. The child arrived in the bags, notably pink, pliable, and still warm to the touch. An autopsy determined she was born alive and died from suffocation. The manner of death ruled a homicide. Prosecutor Basil O'Malley in court today requested the young mother stay locked up.
Due to the very serious nature of the charges and the potential very long sentences, the people are asking for $250,000 cash bail. Her counselor's regard for the safety of the health of her newborn, her blatant and cavalier attitude directly resulted in the death of that newborn. She left the baby at the toilet like so much excrement while she showered. We believe that kind of disregard for basic human decency makes her a flight risk. We ask that the court hold her on $250,000 cash.
Public defender Zach Timinglow argued that Fupol instead be released on a PR bond.
On behalf of Ms. Fupol, we ask that the court consider in this matter her lack of danger to the community, her low aura score. She is a lifelong resident of Guam. She is gainfully employed. She has numerous family present in the court today. Have spoken with her father, and he indicates that if released today, he will take her and watch her and make sure she comes to all her court hearings.
Bail was ultimately set at $100,000 cash.
A return hearing is set for June 18th.
The verdict is in. After only hours in deliberations, defendant Jeremiah Shizaki is found not guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and not guilty of terrorizing. His attorney, Doug Moylan, telling KUAM, quote, "On behalf of Jeremiah and myself and our team, we wish to thank every single juror and alternate who sat on this month-long trial. Jeremiah is so happy that the jury was able to see the truth of what occurred. We believe that this case was 6 years too long and it should never have been filed. And we also thank Janessa Corpez for her courage and her mother Pamela Fernandez, who stood in the face of two prosecutors who refused to see the truth that Jeremiah never intended to kill his uncle," end quote. The alleged victim is GPD Officer Benny Babauta. Lieutenant Babauta remains on the force assigned to support as the acting division chief.
She was trying to get back into Guam, but she had been previously deported. A complaint filed in the District Court of Guam names former Blue House lounge staffer Sagnan Waria. She was busted at the Guam International Airport Authority arriving from Chuuk on Thursday when she was stopped by customs. If you recall, the Blue House lounge brothel case was Guam's first ever major human trafficking ring. Waria had been convicted in both local and federal court in 2012 for her role in the conspiracy. Though she didn't serve any hard time, she was deported.
A staffer at St. Anthony's Catholic School has been fired following a report of missing funds made to police more than a week ago. On June 1st, the Archdiocese of Agana and St. Anthony's School filed a police report after discovering almost $20,000 in school funds was missing. The unaccounted money was from late February to May. The Archdiocese attributes their ability to track the missing money following the implementation of their new integrated financial management platform called Cathanet. No word yet if any arrests were made.
On island to answer to the charges, Hanson Helicopters owner John Walker pleaded not guilty. Walker flew in from Missouri and will be allowed to return home after he posts a property bond. Walker's charged with the company's executive vice president Marvin Reed, director of operations Kenneth Crow, and director of maintenance Philip Kapp. The group are in the red with the feds for trying to fly by strict safety regulations set by the FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board. Court documents state the scheme involving obtaining aircrafts that had been previously deregistered because they were destroyed, scrapped, and otherwise deemed not airworthy, then faking the documentation to put those helicopters back in service. Parties in court on Friday noted there are hundreds of thousands of pages of discovery and will need additional time to review those documents. A status hearing is set for August 20th.
Two men are accused of taking credit card information and buying thousands of dollars worth of electronics. John Michael Valena and Stephen Roland Miranda are charged with fraudulent use of a credit card, theft of property, theft by deception, conspiracy, and guilt established by complicity, among others. Investigators say Valena was previously employed at IP&E whenever he allegedly obtained information from clients of the company, which included QuickSpace, LMS Management, Sang Brothers, and IT&E. Police say he gave the credit card info to Miranda, who is then accused of buying electronic items totaling some $14,000.
Well, Chris, recent reports of home invasions and burglaries are alarming, each case happening in different spots throughout the island. But how would you react if you found an intruder inside your home?
Our Carmen Terlahi gets some answers as authorities say the summer months is a time when homes, especially those left unsecured, become a target.
81-year-old Rosita Lizama Taitano Birdwell recalls the moment she found out her home was broken into while she was off island.
Lock your doors, but it doesn't matter because they will break in. And they even tore the screen of my screen window. It's just a shame because years ago we never used to lock doors. We go to somebody's front door, to the back door. It is a shame.
Her word of caution to others comes after multiple home invasions and burglaries reported just this week. In Jigo, the victim's estranged boyfriend showed up threatening the family when he broke in using a pickaxe. 29-year-old Stephen Cruz was taken into custody. In another incident, the suspect, Skame Ray, allegedly broke into a home in Totu while the family was still inside and even tried to fight the victim with a machete. In Agate, a couple woke up to strangers walking around inside their home, reportedly stealing purses, a smartphone, and at least $400 in cash. Police later arresting Sancho Relax and a minor during their investigation.
We know and we see everywhere that there are a lot of break-ins.
Paul Suba, former GPD chief of police, is now at G4S Security. He says having a plan is key if you spot an intruder because your life and the lives of your loved ones is the most valuable thing in your home.
You don't want to first react and again use a weapon and start shooting or hitting. The best thing is to have an escape plan. Where would you go to a second or third location in your home that's more secure until help arrives?
Authorities say it's important to find out what spots around your house are most vulnerable. Suba also recommends setting up an alarm system, cameras, or even lighting outside to prevent anyone from breaking and entering.
We have options, but it's going to take time for us to think. Besides, it's not about being paranoid, it's about being prepared to look at and plan your strategy.
Ultimately, the goal to keep you, your belongings, and your family safe if ever the unexpected occurs. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
The Guam Election Commission in a special meeting discussed next steps to adding the public auditor to the ballot in the primary election. This is Doris Flores-Brooks' resignation was set to begin today.
Yeah, but this doesn't mean she officially stepped down from the position just yet. Keani Mendiola joins us from the GC headquarters with more. Keani?
Hey, Chris and Nick. You can say this sort of came as a surprise for the Guam Election Commission after Public Auditor Doris Flores-Brooks officially announced her resignation. During this afternoon's meeting, a lot of concerning matters were discussed. I'm here with Executive Director Maria Pangilinan. So Maria, can you tell us a little bit about what was discussed at today's meeting?
Based on the effective date of resignation for our public auditor, the special election must be scheduled within the mandates. Election packets for the public auditor can only be picked up starting on Monday, this coming Monday. As far as when they can be turned in, they can only be turned in on Monday, starting Monday, June 25th, because the effective date of resignation is Friday, June 22nd.
Okay, so what we officially thought was that Public Auditor Brooks would be resigning as of June 8th, but she has actually taken leave until the 22nd. Is that correct?
That's based on her letter of resignation to both the Speaker of the Legislature and the Governor.
And can you also tell us a little bit about the special election that will be held? I understand that it will be held on the same day as the primary election.
Yes, that's correct. But it will be on a separate ballot. There will be a separate special election ballot, and that ballot will be tabulated separately as well. So what that means is all the primary election ballots, 2 of them, 2 ballot sheets, will be tabulated separately than the special election ballot.
Okay, and so does this mean that there will be an increase in the amount that you guys will spend for the election?
Unfortunately, yes. There will be the cost of 1 additional ballot sheet, and that alone will cost, we would need to print about 50,000 ballots. And so at about 23 cents landed per ballot sheet, and then on top of that will be the printing cost.
And I'm sorry, just to go back to Public Auditor Doris Flores-Brooks, because her resignation will not be official until the 22nd, what does this mean for her running for Congress?
Well, according to the special meeting this afternoon, the discussion was, what about an organizational report? What about campaign finance? The discussion amongst the commissioners was that, and with the legal counsel there, was that effectively, because the public auditor is a nonpartisan and the congressional delegate is a partisan position, there has to be some sort of transition. And effectively, or maybe by the law, if the law was to be followed, the transition has to take place only after the effective date of resignation.
Okay, thank you so much, Maria. As you can see, the GEC has a lot on their plate already with the upcoming primary election and now the special election. More concerning matters will be discussed at their regular meeting on June 14th at 5:30 p.m. Chris and Nick, back to you.
Before we head into the break, a quick note that $2 million in tax refunds will be in the mail on Monday.
That's right, so be on the lookout again next week if you did file early. More news in a moment.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy, to the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
A strong economy depends on a strong middle class. Businesses need help to survive in these tough times, and new industries are needed. As your governor, I will propose tax cuts for small businesses. We will streamline government operations to create a more business-friendly environment. We will invest in infrastructure and in our people by expanding opportunities to learn much-needed trades. I'm in to help get us there, and I humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this message.
In this divided world, there are still things that unite us. Great music, thrilling games, and the love for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam, for the love of burgers menu. For a limited time, get an amazing burger for just $11.99. Lunchtime at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
Welcome back. Control over the island-wide trash system is supposed to revert back to the local government at the end of this month. But like previous deadlines, there may be a snag that will again delay the long-awaited handover.
Nestor Lacanto reports on Friday's Guam Solid Waste Authority board meeting.
For a decade now, our trash system has been under the management of a federally appointed receiver, Gershman, Brickner, and Bratton. The district court ordered the takeover because of GovGuam's inability for many years prior to close and replace the old Orda dump, which was polluting a nearby river in violation of federal clean water laws. GSWA Vice Chairman John DeKnight says the receiver has done a good job, but now it's time to move on.
The people of Guam borrowed $200 million and fixed the problem. They opened a new landfill in Ledzon and they closed the Ordot dump. And that was the purpose of the receiver, was to take care of the problem.
But the transition back to local control has been delayed at least 3 times, says DeKnight, and a June 30 deadline is again in jeopardy because of yet another concern raised by the receiver.
Here we are, 11th hour again. The receiver is supposed to end at the end of June, and the receiver is setting up for another extension. I can't say much about that because it's a personnel matter, but all I can say is he's attacking certain members of the staff, trying to discredit them.
A misconduct allegation was raised prior to the most recent status hearing, and the court has placed the complaint under seal. But DeKnight says these delays mean the receiver will continue its lucrative contract that has paid it more than $20 million in the last 10 years. He says it's been more than 4 years since the court ordered the receiver to prepare for a transition back to local government control.
So he said that he's in charge, and he's in charge of the transition. So if there's problems with the transition, the receiver needs to take some sort of responsibility for that, and he hasn't. So basically what he does is he stalls on the transition, and then he turns around and blames everybody that the transition is not working. When we take over, nothing will change. The system is working. We'll leave it as is. We'll just try to improve on the system. But we first got to get past the receiver.
Another status hearing is set for later this month. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lacanto.
The judicial branch is seeking a 5% increase in its operating budget for next fiscal year, from $34.7 million to $36.4 million. Much of the $1.7 million in added funding is for organic payroll growth of $700,000 and $190,000 in health insurance. Court officials are also seeking a new 8th judge position. They say their dockets are backlogged by the rise in criminal cases. Here's Supreme Court Chief Justice Catherine Merriman.
That takes the Superior Court judge away from the other cases because they usually go full-time, whether it's 2 days or some go 6 weeks, depending on the nature of the case. That prevents that trial court judge from addressing civil cases, because under the law, criminal cases must take priority. So civil and domestic cases get pushed back.
The court says the ratio of judges to cases and the ratio of judges to the local population supports the addition of a new judge.
Outgoing public auditor Doris Flores Brooks wants to ensure continuity in her office and now wants senators' approval to convert her unclassified management team to classified, but to keep their current salaries. Brooks testified at Friday's budget hearing that will add another $225 grand to the budget, but Speaker B.J. Cruz says they had the same discussion when Brooks first took office 10 years ago to classify all positions. Brooks says she agreed at first until she found out how hard it is to recruit because of the much lower salaries.
I went from 0 to 9, up to 18, back to 9, and it has been a struggle for the last 10 years. It has been a continuous struggle until a couple of years ago. And this is the challenge I have been faced with.
And so the challenge is now ours to increase the operating cost of the office by $240,000.
And if you don't think this office is worthy of this, then that's fine. That's what the next public auditor will have to deal with.
Thank you.
She says the job announcements for the 3 classified management positions that she is seeking was issued Friday. Brooks resigned from her position effective this month to run for the congressional delegate office.
While Our Lady of Fatima makes a short trip to Guam, a funeral mass is held for the island's youngest angels. The island's faithful gathered at Pico Cemetery to celebrate Mass for the unborn. Archbishop Michael Burns prayed not only for the babies whose lives were lost to abortion or miscarriages, but for their families who may be grieving. The 19 unclaimed miscarriages from GRMC, the Chief Medical Examiner's Office, and GMH were now properly laid to rest. Father Bing Arellano invites all going through hard times or loss to pray to Mother Mary.
You're a mother, and you know something wrong is going to happen. So he said, I better protect my children. So this is kind of Pope Francis' divine inspiration.
Faithful are continuing prayers to Our Lady at Totu Church. On Sunday at 4 p.m., a coastal rosary will be held at beaches around the island while the traveling Lady of Fatima flies in a helicopter circling Guam. The Pro-Life Committee says the next burial will be in October.
A new person is in charge up at Andersen Air Force Base.
KUAM intern Salome Vuki has more.
Out with the old and in with the new at the Andersen Air Force Base. Outgoing Commander Brigadier General Douglas Cox gave his final command to airmen today in a ceremony held at the Air Force Base. Brigadier General Cox has served in the military for more than 2 decades, including 2 years of bearing the responsibility for more than 8,000 military and civilian personnel at the Air Force Base. Brigadier General Cox passed the flag of command today in a ceremony to Brigadier General Gentry Boswell. Brigadier General Boswell was the Director of Operations and Communications of the Air Force Global Strike Command in Barksdale, Louisiana, before coming to Guam and giving a speech as the new commander.
We live in a very uncertain world. It is a global world. It's characterized by this dynamic and unpredictable nature. But our capability, our commitment, and our lethality is to be something that is always certain. Certain in our hearts, but foremost and certain in the minds of our enemies and our adversaries. It is our path to success.
The incoming commander addressed listeners on the unreliable nature of the world we live in today, but also reassured them on the military's certainty to address future threats. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Salome Vuki.
Thanks, Salome. Well, the Guam Visitors Bureau kicked off the summer season food truck style. 13 companies, including food truck operators, took the Hafa Pledge during a signing ceremony at the Guam Museum Thursday night. The complete list of those that took the pledge is right now on KUAM.com. Now, the Hafa Pledge program is a cornerstone of GVB's local community branding campaign. More than 700 private businesses, government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and children have joined the program since it first started in 2009.
Sports is next, but first, here's your island weather.
smartphone super sale event. Enjoy huge savings on our most popular Samsung Galaxy smartphones. But this offer won't last long. So drop into a GTA store today.
It's a celebration at Cars Plus and Mighty. And during our Jeep Celebration event, you'll save thousands on every new Jeep in stock. Like a new 2018 Compass, save up to $3,750. Or save up to $4,000 on a new 2018 Cherokee. How about a new Renegade? Save up to $6,000. Plus, buy today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Hurry in for our Jeep Celebration event, going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Half a day. G-U-A-M. G-U-A-M. Half a day. G-U-A-M. G-U-A-M. Half a day. G-U-A-M. G-U-A-M. Half a day. G-U-A-M. G-U-A-M.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. It's Friday, so you know what that means. We hit you up with your Rentone Athlete of the Week. Check it out. We're here at Rentone Manila for our Athlete of the Week. Today we have Teason High bowler Alana Fegerger, and here to present it with a check is Paul. Paul?
Alana, congratulations on behalf of Rentone being selected the Athlete of the Week. Who would you like to donate this check to?
I'll be donating this check to Make-A-Wish Foundation.
You participated in the inaugural high school bowling league held at Central Lanes. Tell us about how the season went for you and what you enjoyed so much about this year's competition.
Well, I thought that this was a really great way to bring out bowling more into the high schools and get the younger ages to participate, because I was never really a bowler, and this was my first time actually learning more about the sport, and it really got me interested, and I got some of my peers to start as well, so that was cool.
And when you first started, you said your average was about 110, but with repetition and bowling a little bit more often, you were able to increase your average.
Yeah, I started out, I was like barely making 100s. My highest would be like maybe 130 on a good day. And now I'm constantly trying to beat 150, and I'm getting up there. So yeah.
And congratulations on your nomination for co-salutatorian at Teason High School.
Thank you very much.
What's next for you after already graduating from Teason High?
So I'll be accepting the Merit Scholarship and attending University of Guam.
And do you see yourself sticking with the sport of bowling?
Oh, definitely. It's something that I really enjoy. In my free time, I tell my parents, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to the bowling alley," and I go. I try to go every day, but
KUAM has that rock and bowl every Wednesday night from now on. Is that something? Have you ever tried night bowling?
Oh, I love rock and bowl. I'm going to start going next week because I'm bringing out all my friends and trying to get the community to participate in that, because it's something that's really fun to do.
All right, congratulations. Stay tuned to our next Rentone Athlete of the Week.
KUAM Sports Athlete of the Week is brought to you by...
They're the future of the sport, and this Sunday we are rolling out our broadcast of the Marianas Open Highlight Show featuring the Kids and Teens Division. This is the 11th year of the Marianas Open, the largest jiu-jitsu tournament in the Pacific region.
I'm very excited. Yeah. To be honest, I'm more nervous than excited. I'm okay and excited at the same time. We've been doing intense workouts to help us get fit for this competition.
When you say intense workouts, what do you mean?
Like doing intense warm-ups and then drilling really hard to get the muscle memory down.
To train for this, go to the gym every day
just to roll and practice our game plan to do it. I've been working hard, and like every time when it comes to sparring time, I'll like spar really hard.
The Kids and Teens of the Marianas Open highlight show premieres this Sunday on KUAM TV 11 at 4 in the afternoon. We'll also have full matches of several of the fights on our YouTube channel. Additionally, you can catch the show on all our stations throughout the month of June. All right, once again, that show airs Sunday. That's going to be at 4 in the afternoon on KUAM TV 11. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
We're celebrating our 135th anniversary today, both in the outlying regions on which we hub and also here in Guam itself. It means so much to our team here in Guam. It means a lot to us in the Matson management team, because what it says is we're here to stay. It's a real physical manifestation of our commitment to this region. It's so important that we hire locally, we develop talent locally, we train locally. What's been a wonderful addition to our approach there is that many of the people who started off in Guam have gone off into significant leadership roles elsewhere in the company.
This is our headquarters here in Guam in Micronesia. And when we talk about putting down our roots, it's not just doing business, it's about everything we do with our friends, our customers, and our employees. I believe that nobody can replicate what we do, and that's why we have such a great team and such a great service and why we're successful. This is our home, this is our life, and we're happy to make a difference in everyone else's life.
We only have 30 seconds to describe the newest specialty flavor in the Signature Crafted Recipes collection by McDonald's, Garlic White Cheddar. It's layered with a slice of smooth, perfectly melty white cheddar cheese, a crunchy medley of tasty, crispy garlic chips, a dramatic drizzle of smooth, delicious, and flavorful, delectably creamy garlic aioli, all come together with a mouth-wateringly juicy tomato slice and crisp iceberg lettuce atop crispy buttermilk chicken on a soft, warm artisan roll. Luckily, you can take all the time you need to savor every bite. The Signature Crafted Recipes collection by McDonald's.
Beat the increase at Triple J. Buy now before the sales tax starts. 0 down, 1.9% financing, and easy trade-in. Now is the time to buy. Get into a 2018 Mazda CX-5 at our lowest price yet, only $19,995. Or our big boy truck, the Ford F-150, starting at $298 per paycheck. Or the North American Car of the Year, the 2018 Honda Accord at only $206 per paycheck. Beat the increase and buy now at Triple J. Visit us online at triplejguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Trade-ins welcome. Some conditions apply. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Happy birthday, Bryden Tovas. May all your wishes and dreams come true today. We love you, from Auntie Shelly and Uncle Richard. And to our very own twins, Christine and Chris Mesa, a very special happy birthday to you both.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include your photo, your name, and birthday so we can celebrate you. And guess what time it is?
Drum roll, please. It's now time to announce this week's winner of the Yummy Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Cake. And this week's winner is...
Bryden Tovas. Happy birthday.
It's his
your
birthday today.
Congratulations. Our rep from Cold Stone will call you on how you can redeem your Yummy Cold Stone ice cream cake to share with us here at KUAM.
Yeah, enjoy. That's going to do it for us here in the news desk. Stay tuned. Extras next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.
All right, everybody, this is KUAM News Extra, half a day, and thanks so much for tuning in or streaming us. I'm Jason Salas.